Welcome in, everybody. Another episode of From the Bench to the Mic. I'm your host, Johnny Holmes. Welcome to episode 12. Really excited, picking up a few new followers and a few subscribers. I really appreciate y'all, all the love and support that we've had going throughout this process. I think it's going to be a lot of fun just being able to talk hoops with you guys. Eventually just continue to expand and be able to share the knowledge of and the excitement of what goes on in the college hoops world. So again, really appreciate everybody. Thank you for tuning in wherever you may be and however you may be listening. I'm working on getting it on Apple Music and Spotify. Just taking me a little bit of time and still figuring out, of course, the technological editing and all that stuff that goes into it. Pieces, as you guys know, my last video didn't have any audio for some reason. I think it was the headphones that I was using. So we switched to these bad boys. Shout out to the Beat Solo. I'm a huge fan of them. But hopefully we got that corrected. We're gonna continue to learn as we go. It's one of those things is brand new, and we're just gonna keep learning from our mistakes, keep getting better. That's all you can do. A little life lesson for you too, right there. Okay. Anyways, we're gonna talk through Jimmy V Classic. I'm gonna talk through some teams that are trending up, teams that are trending down, and then we're gonna talk through the matchups for this weekend. We got some awesome matchups coming up on Saturday. Great hoops all across the board. Tuesday night was great at the Jimmy V. And then you guys have heard me talk about it in my previous episodes, that non-conference has been probably the best ever. This is the most non-conference hoops I've ever watched. It probably will be the most non-conference hoops I ever watch. Hopefully not. Hopefully we'll continue to keep this thing going. But there's been some elite matchups, amazing tournaments, showcase games, all this stuff. I love it. All of the big time, the top dogs are playing one another, and that's why we can't get a clear-cut number one. Now, there's one team I'll talk about here in a little bit that I think is the clear-cut number one, beating the brakes off of everybody. But it's hard to pick one when everybody's playing each other and everybody's beating each other. Now you got 4 teams that have remained undefeated that are pretty much the cream of the crop. But of those 4, I think any which way you can pick is to be the best team in the country. So, anyways, that's for another segment. Let's dive into the Jimmy V Classic. Okay, we had 2 games. You had Florida versus UCONN, and then you had Clemson versus BYU. I'll start with Florida, UConn, and then we'll get into BYU, Clemson here in just a second. But the Gators versus the Huskies, Todd Golden, Dan Hurley, just a classic, a great matchup between 2 superior squads. UConn ended up taking down the Florida Gators 77-73 behind Solo Ball, Alex Caravan, and Taurus Reed. UConn looks strong as ever. Very, very impressed with their squad top to bottom. I think they've really they're using last year as fuel for this year, and Dan Hurley has these guys playing on another level, which is excellent. I love seeing that. We love seeing UConn at the mecca of college basketball, and hopefully they stay healthy, and if they stay healthy, they're going to continue to head down the right track here. So, but let's talk about Florida, SEC. Let's talk about them. 5-4, or they were 5-3, just dropped to 5-4 with their loss to UConn. This team, man, they've been through a gauntlet of playing top tier opponents. Outside of the TCU loss, which I was able to witness, it wasn't great. Of course, TCU. They got Brock Harding, by the way, phenomenal point guard. Anyways, UConn, Duke, Arizona, TCU are their 4 losses. Okay, 3 of the top probably 10 teams, you can call it. I mean, it's a strong strength of schedule, strength of record for the Gators. They've got a lot of moving pieces that came in next from the transfer portal. Boogie Flan, Xavier Lee, trying to get those 2 dudes together, man. it's been a project for Todd Golden, to say the least. Xavier Lee finally popped off on Tuesday night against the Huskies. Finally was playing with some free-flowing, about as free-flowing as his hair. His hair is just tremendous if you've ever seen it. He's a small little guy, but man, the dude is crafty. The dude can get downhill. He's a fun watch when he gets rolling and he's under control. He's a very, very fun watch. So big fan of Xavier Lee. He takes some crazy shots sometimes, but you live and die by that. Or not live and die, I'm sorry, you live with that, because Xavier Lee's an excellent ball player that can go make plays for you whenever you need one. So Xavier Lee, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. The Gators front court, Alex Condon, Thomas Howe, Chinyelu dominated the offensive glass with 16 offensive rebounds compared to UConn's 7. That was ultimately what changed the game for Florida, was how they were able to attack the offensive glass, have some second chance points, get some extra opportunities to, one, get to the foul line, keep the ball out of UConn's hands, and get some easy baskets. So it also put UConn in a little bit of foul trouble. I'll get that here in just a moment. But Florida is one piece away from being an excellent squad again. And that piece is Boogie Fland. I think Boogie Fland is uber talented. Was at Arkansas last year, of course. Got really familiar with his game. Even in high school, seeing his highlights and hear about him. The dude's a rock star. He's talented, man. He knows the game of basketball. He really he gets after you defensively, which is a very underrated defender in my opinion. But he's been a complete non-factor these last 2 games. I mean, Gators have lost 2 in a row, both to superior opponents in Duke and UConn. But big time players step up in big time games, and I think Boogie Fland is a big time player. He's just not pulling up in the big time games, which is just very disappointing and very, very, it's hard to watch. You want to see him do well, but so far, I mean, he's averaging 12.5 points a game, 39% from the field, which isn't awful. But if you're a player of Boogie Fland's caliber, 12.5 isn't your standard. You need to be, I think, pushing that 17, 18 mark to really get Florida to that Final Four caliber that everybody knows they're capable of. I mean, it's just plain and simple. I think if Boogie Fland plays better, Florida's record's definitely going to improve. But all that aside, they have played a tough schedule. Absolutely. They have it's not cupcake by any means, but they have a very favorable schedule coming up leading into SEC play. I don't believe they play another ranked team until Tennessee, which is the front half of SEC play. But so Florida's got some time to get right, get their guards really clicking and jiving with one another. So, and when they get that going, that's going to be a dangerous duo, that's for sure. Now, let's switch gears. Let's flip it to UConn. Solo ball, dude is a beast. I am all on the solo ball train. Coming into this year, I just thought of solo ball as a distributor, guy that was just gonna. He wasn't gonna lose you the game. Wasn't gonna win you the game. He was just gonna kind of keep everything even keel. Couldn't have been more wrong in my entire life. Solo ball he's a pure scorer. He's a playmaker, a leader. He's a great defender. He checks a lot of boxes that I think NBA teams are looking at, and he is slowly creeping his way up that big board. The way he moves without the ball, how he comes off his pin downs, how he comes off screens, he comes off of them so tight. His defender has no chance when he uses his long arms to come off the ball screen, extends the arm, meets the ball in the air. He'll take one dribble, pull up, and bang, right in your face, and one. Okay? Solo ball is excellent. I'm a big fan of the kid. He's game wrecker. He's the diaper dandy, whatever you want to call him. I'm all in buy your stock in solo ball now because I think he's just going to continue to escalate his game or elevate his game. But yeah, he's incredible. So I mentioned the foul trouble earlier. It wasn't even foul trouble. They flirted with it. you almost maybe want to call it like soft foul trouble. We'll call it soft foul trouble. They had guys pick up 2 early fouls, maybe picked up a third in the first half, maybe right at the beginning of the second half. We'll call it soft foul trouble for UConn, and this is the difference maker for them. I think their bench is great. Braylon Mullins and Malachi Smith coming off the bench, 2 phenomenal guards that can come in and give you fresh legs, give you great minutes. They may not score a ton, but you're going to get good minutes out of them. I mean, Braylon Mullins came in, he was 3 for 5 in the second half, had 6 big points. If you go back and watch the tape, I don't think his buckets could have came at a more clutch time. And then Malachi Smith was smooth. He had probably the coldest Euro step I've seen. Play the highlight for you. And he defended really well. He held onto the ball, took care of it. So their bench was a big difference maker in this game, and I think that's going to be UConn's bread and butter going forward. Is how deep UConn is. Caravan mentioned at the end of his post game, talked about how deep his team was, how tightly sound everybody is, and how everybody's got one common goal to go out and dominate. And that's the UConn that I grew up watching. That's the UConn that we've all seen over the last few years, and I'm glad that they're getting back to it. So shout out to UConn for getting the dub in the Jimmy V Classic. But now we'll talk through BYU and Clemson. BYU, just very, very up and down. Sometimes they look so good, and there's sometimes where they look so bad. And that was exactly what last Tuesday night's game was all about. 67-64, BYU takes down Clemson. They were down 21 at halftime, down 43-22. Nobody was playing well. Debanza, I believe, only had 2 points. He just nothing was really going for him in the first half. They weren't getting stops, obviously weren't scoring the ball. But just like that, they flip it around and outscore Clemson 45-21 in the second half. Come out with the dub. AJ Debanza came in with a vengeance in the second half, man. He was all over the place. And if you haven't had a chance to watch him just yet, tune in. This dude is legit. The real deal. He's our modern day Tracy McGrady. I think he can be that good. I think he can be even better when he gets to the pros. His body control, the way he's able to get to his spots, how he has such a calm demeanor for how much pressure and how much spotlight that gets put on him. The way he talks about his teammates, how he is able to make the unselfish plays. I mean, his vision is just incredible. He'll get the ball on the high mid to high post. He'll see a double team come around from the baseline, and he sees it without seeing it. His instincts are top tier. Slings it across to Richie Saunders for a tray ball. He unfortunately missed it, but that just goes to show how great his vision, how great his basketball instincts are. So AJ Debanza, phenomenal performance, 28 points. He had 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 9 of 10 from the free throw line, which you'd love to see out of your freshman. Shot it pretty well, 9 of 18, not terrible. But the story of the night for BYU Clemson was Rob Wright. Rob Wright, check it out. I'll let you listen to the call.
Moskowitz to inbound. Right. Got it! Robert Wright III wins it for the Cougars.
Phenomenal work from Rob Wright. Hit the game-winning 3, send the boys home. Ultimate collapse by the Clemson Tigers. But yes, BYU. He ended up with 17, which is so tough. But if BYU ends up being on this roller coaster of a season, I just want to apologize to Cougar fans in advance. You have one of the best rosters in the country, but if it's not easy going through a roller coaster like that. So. Great win for the Cougars up at the Garden. And, I think we're going to continue to see this team do super well when it comes to Big 12 conference play and then when they get to the postseason in March. So Big shout out to the Cougars there, who got snubbed from the playoff, by the way. But that's a different conversation. So next up, trending up and trending down. Trending up, trending down. We're here. We're about 75% of the way through the non-conference season. Two teams that are trending up in my opinion, what I've been seeing so far. We're gonna stick in the Big Ten. You got Nebraska, who's 10-0 by the way, and Michigan, who is just beating the brakes off of everybody. The team that I was referring to earlier. Nebraska ranked Mast, I apologize, ranked Mast out of the Netherlands, 18 points per game. Nebraska's looked unstoppable so far. Of course, they haven't been stopped, being 10-0. Second team to 10-0, by the way, led by just slightly behind the Duke Blue Devils, but second place is okay. The only thing that with Nebraska, they have not been challenged just yet. I mean, their best wins against Oklahoma, which great win, by the way. I think Oklahoma's an underrated team. They haven't had the best start to the season, but kind of get a Big 12 rivalry renewed. That's their best win, unfortunately. They have a true test coming up against Illinois on Saturday at the State Farm Center in Champaign. We know that place is going to be rocking for a top 25 matchup. Fred Hoiberg, he's got the boys playing well. The Cornhuskers, man, they're back in business. I saw a stat where Nebraska's basketball is undefeated, 10-0. Nebraska's women's basketball is undefeated. I believe they're 8-0, and their volleyball team's 32-0. I mean, just unprecedented run from the Cornhuskers, and of course the three major sports. Right. So awesome work by Fred Hoiberg. I believe this streak comes to an end when they go to Champaign to take on the Fighting Illini, the International Illini, I like to call them. But it's great seeing Nebraska get back. They're a sleeper team in the Big Ten. Think they can end up making the tournament. From a talent standpoint, I have to get more familiar with their guys. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. But nonetheless, still very impressive. They're trending in the right direction. And then the second team that's trending in the right direction, Michigan Wolverines. Now, how can you be trending in the right direction if you're the second best team in the country? That's just because it seems like they're getting better and better every single game. I mean, their average margin of victory is almost 31 points a game. It's 30.8 on the dot versus Ken Pop top 45 teams. I mean, my goodness, that is an unbelievable stat if you're asking me. But what I think is the most important one, now everybody probably thinks they're outscoring. I mean, they're outscoring dudes like crazy, yes. But the real factor in this entire magnificent run that they got going is their defense. Their defense is ranked first. They get the highest defensive rating according to Ken Pom. Morez Johnson, Yaxel Landenberg, Elliot Cadeau. They've got some dogs over there on defense. And I think that's what's leading to a bunch of runouts. Teams are getting absolutely suffocated and can't figure out what the heck to do with the Wolverines. Dusty May's doing an awesome job in year two. I mean, he's making Michigan look like a national title contender. It's good seeing something good happen to Michigan, especially this day and age, especially with everything that's kind of going on. Great job by Dusty May for keeping kind of all that noise out of there and keeping his locker room going, and really has the Wolverines going on the right track, and really seems like the favorites to win the Big Ten. So Michigan, Nebraska trending up. We're going to flip the coin, and we're looking at two teams that are trending down. Kentucky. Start with the Blue Blood, Kentucky Wildcats. Now, why are they trending down? 6-4, not playing great. Louisville, their losses are to Louisville, Michigan State, North Carolina, and Gonzaga. They had one close game out of that. It was against Carolina. They lost on a game-winning 3.
Shot clock to 5. He can shoot. Don't I tell you?
Just a stud. They've got Indiana actually coming up here, so that can be a get-right game for them. Another Power 4 opponent, and then they get to shortly followed up against St. John's. So They are trending down, yes, but I believe that they can get going. The schedule's there for them. They can get right. But there's two words that I think can really turn around this Kentucky program. Mark Pope. Now, I think 99% of Kentucky Nation wants Mark Pope gone. I think Mark Pope is an excellent ball coach. I think he holds his dudes accountable. I think he knows the game. He showed it last year that he can win games. He can put an elite offense out there. Now, defensively, we'll see. That's kind of always been Kentucky's I don't know, what do you want to call it? Curse? It's not a curse, but whatever. But I love Mark Pope. I think he's great. Kentucky has been so banged up this year as far as injuries go. They haven't had a full lineup. They haven't been fully healthy all year, and they're playing a very, very difficult schedule. So Kentucky is going to be a team to watch out for later on in the year after they get healthy and Mark Pope gets his guys right. He benched Brendan Garrison the other night. They were playing North Carolina Central. They were up like 40 or whatever. Brandon Garrison turns the ball over, is just jogging back on the play. Dude yanked them out, sat on the rest of the game. I love that. And I think we need more of that, to be honest with you. Getting back to that old style of coaching in a day and age where money is basically running everything. I love what Mark Pope just did. I thought it was an incredible move, statement move, and I think a locker room turning move for the Wildcats. And they got the schedule right there to turn it around. And I think they can do it. So they get a big win against Indiana. You go against St. John's, get a W, and then you roll into SEC play. It's as simple as that. You check those boxes, man, you're back on the right track. So Kentucky's trending down, unfortunately, but I think they have the opportunity to turn turn this train around. Second team, Indiana Hoosiers. So they play each other, okay? They play each other on Saturday. Honestly, I think the loser of that season may be in a little bit of it's going to be in a tough spot to get out of there. It's kind of like when a Ned rig is hooked at the bottom of the river when you're bass fishing. Just tough to get out. You got to yank and pull and do everything you can to get it unstuck, turn and get it out of there. It's going to take that kind of an effort for the loser of this ball club to get it turned around, especially with conference play approaching. So, Indiana, they've lost 2 of 3. They beat Penn State. They beat them by 40. I think it was 39 to be exact. Then the 2 losses being to Minnesota and Louisville. They didn't look great in the Louisville game. The box score is a little bit closer than the actual game itself. But they got each other. Indiana gets a chance to go into Rupp. That's another advantage Kentucky's got. They got some home games coming up here. But yeah, the Hoosiers going into Rupp, trying to get a big W. That's going to be an all-time matchup between two of the most historic programs in our game. Dickie V, Charles Barkley is going to be on the call, so it's going to be a fun one to tune into. I'm gonna have my phone going. I'm gonna be at a wedding this weekend down in Houston. I'll have it on my phone, checking it out, and be looking forward to some exciting basketball from those 2 squads. Very motivated basketball from those 2 squads. But yeah, that's my trending up, trending down. If you want to buy stock in those squads, I would invest heavily. Maybe not on Nebraska just yet, but maybe not even on Indiana. I'd probably invest heavily on Michigan if you're thinking about a nice national champion. And then I think from a Kentucky standpoint of making the tournament and making a run in March, I don't think that's a bad bet either. Okay, now let's dive into the matchups from Saturday, or matchups for Saturday. Okay, there's a lot of great matchups out there. Okay, starting out 11 a.m. ESPN2, Arkansas versus Texas Tech. Now I'm gonna rattle these off and get these going. Just give you a couple things that I want to keep an eye out for, and we'll keep it moving. So, Arkansas versus Texas Tech. I'm very excited to see Christian Anderson and JT Toppin go up against Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas, and then I want to see Arkansas's bigs. I want to see how they respond to a National Player of the Year. Trevor Brazile, Nick Pringle, Malik Ewan. Want to see them go after JT Toppin and give him a hard time. So, Arkansas Texas Tech. Don't have the spread on me just as of yet, but going to be a very fun matchup, very high scoring affair. If I was a betting man, Raider Power is going to be packing that sucker out. Arkansas travels really well. They have a very, very strong fan base in Dallas as well. I'm hoping to see a few of my buddies at the game. I unfortunately won't be there, being down in Houston, but me and the boys, we're gonna be checking that out, and we'll be cheering on our Hogs. So that's the first matchup of the day. Second one, I alluded to it earlier, Nebraska versus Illinois. Get to see Nebraska on a national stage. Let's see what Fred Hoiberg, let's see what he's really got going up against a top 15 opponent. Walking into their environment, the House of Pain, that sucker gets loud, baby. Orange Crush, they are awesome. So Nebraska taking on Illinois, Stojakovic, and then you have Mirkovic, Kylan Boswell, the Avicic brothers. That's why I call them the International Illini. There's a ton of foreign kids on there. Brad Underwood taking a little bit different approach to the season, his roster, and it's working out for him pretty well so far. So we'll see what happens when they get the Big Ten play. This is going to be a great test against, they beat Ohio State the other night, but this will be another good test against the top 25 opponent. All right, Kansas versus NC State, 4:30 p.m. KU traveling into Raleigh, North Carolina to take on the Wolfpack. Will Wade versus Bill Self. That's going to be a super fun one to check out. Darren Peterson, he's an elite freshman, could be a top 10 pick in the draft. Probably will be a top 10 pick, could be a top 5, top 3. He's been hurt most of the season, but go out and check out Darren Peterson, go up against a Will Wade squad that I think is a little hurt right now, and I think they're playing a little bit more motivated basketball than what they were playing at the beginning of the year. So that's gonna be a good one to check out. Next, Indiana, Kentucky. I talked about that enough. I think you guys need to tune into there. That's going to be a fun one. Two historic programs going after one another. That's at 6:30 on ESPN. And then Michigan versus Maryland. All for the reasons that I said before about Michigan. Go check them out. They're the real deal. Maryland, College Park is going to be rocking. Buzz Williams, I'm hoping that he can get his squad amped up and ready to rock for number 2 and probably the number 1 team in everybody's eyes that come into town. So we'll see what Dusty May can do getting on the road, but I've got no worries about the Michigan Wolverines. Next, Arizona versus Alabama. Now I think this is the game. I think this is the game of the day right here. Alabama has gone through a complete gauntlet of a schedule, going up against teams like Purdue, Illinois, taking on all these squads. Now they get Arizona. You get Arizona to come on down to Birmingham. It's a neutral site game, but obviously, Bama's going to be traveling well. It's not in Tuscaloosa, unfortunately. I'm very excited to see the matchup of Jaden Bradley versus LeBaron Philon. LeBaron Philon's my SEC Player of the Year. Call it for what it is. I think he's going to be the Player of the Year in the SEC. Love the kid. He is just a terrific scorer. Gets after you on defense. Just sometimes can make a boneheaded mistake, but nonetheless, talent's all there. And then Jaden Bradley is a stud too. He's really come onto the scene for the Wildcats of Arizona. And then the big man matchup between Koa Pete and Aiden Sherrill. Aiden Sherrill, he's a long, athletic defender. Koa Pete, if Nate Oates can game plan around him and double team him, show him some different looks. Koa Pete has known to struggle in that. Seen that happen a couple times now. But when Koa Pete can get to that one-on-one spot and really get to his places, he is a force and he is unstoppable. So be curious to see how Nate Oates game plans against him, and really curious to see how that matchup ends up playing out. So I love Koa Pete. He's a rock star. I think he's going to be another top 10, top 15 pick in the draft. So yes, that's game of the day, Alabama versus Arizona. Make sure y'all go check that out if you want to see some elite basketball. That's at 8:30 on ESPN. And then last but certainly not least, the nightcap. This one I'll probably be tuning into. I'm going to be at a wedding all day Saturday, so won't be able to check out a lot of these games, unfortunately. But very excited for the couple that's getting married. So I'd miss this 10 out of 10 times for them. But nonetheless, after all this is over, Gonzaga UCLA will still be playing, right? Donovan Dent taking on Adam Miller and Braden Smith and Tyan Grant Foster. But the big matchup is going to be Xavier Booker versus Graham Ike. Two magnificent big men that have great touch around the rim. They impose their will. Elite defenders. It's going to be a fun one to watch down low. I'm really excited to see Xavier Booker take on Graham Ike. And yeah, I mean, UCLA, they just snuck back in the top 25. If they can get this win, if they can go up to Seattle and get this W, I think they can really take some momentum and get rocking and rolling from there. So I picked Donovan Dent to be my Big Ten Player of the Year. Think he still has a chance? Absolutely. This would be a great step in the right direction for him. It's not a must win, but you can't really lose this game if you're UCLA. So Mick Cronin, I'm sure will get the boys fired up. That's going to be a great coaching matchup. Mark Few versus Mick Cronin. So again, across the board, great matchups for that UCLA Gonzaga game. Rematch of the. They've met a few times in the tournament. Strother.
No, not at all, because you've also dominated the offensive glass. Chances are you'll get more than one opportunity. Strother for the lead.
Hitting the game-winning three about a few years ago for the Zags. That was a phenomenal time. Me and the boys were after golfing and came back to my apartment. We were watching it. We did this NCAA auction and just an absolute great time. Gonzaga ended up hitting a game winner. The boys just went nuts. So yeah, that's a fun matchup right there. We love that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit like. Give me a follow on social. Spread the word, man. Let's get this out and let's keep this thing rolling. So everybody have an awesome weekend. Tune in Saturday to some elite hoops. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.